What's up, world? Lee here with sticks, strings, and other things. My teeny tiny little corner of the internet where I come to you fortnightly, every other week, to chit-chat with you about all of the crafty things that I have been getting my hands onto. Oh yes. Oh yes. And today is March 21st, 2023. Let's not talk about the fact it's the end of March. Let's just not do that. And this is episode 57. Yes. How are you all? Welcome. Enjoy. Have a seat. Grab some tea. I myself made myself a nice little London fog today. Oh yeah? Getting fancy. Getting fancy today. Oh yeah. London fog. And it's really good. I figured after completely like Robert Smithing up my lipstick earlier today, I needed to recover with some good tea. So, have myself a nice little London fog. It's very tasty. Very tasty. If you are new here, welcome. This is a place where I chit-chat, like I said, about all the crafty things that I've been doing, which is typically cross-stitch and knitting with an occasional something else thrown in. This time is just cross-stitch and knitting. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. You know where everything's at. So just, go get yourself a tea or a coffee or a water or something stronger if, that is where your day has led you. I'm coming to you from a very appropriately gray Pacific Northwest, though the sun has been out lately, which means pollen season is here. Sniff, sniff, sneeze, cough, achoo. My car is normally a gray silvery color, except at this time of year, where it's got this nice green, like neon green, bright haze to it. Yeah, it's like an inch thick of pollen out there on my car right now in like 2 days. Right. It's a little polleny. That's all I'm saying. So if I have to stop to sneeze or blow my nose or anything, it's pollen season. The trees keep having sex and pollen gets everywhere and they need to stop. They need to find a less intrusive way. That's all I'm saying. Right. Right. You might notice I'm a little... Well, I'm me today. I'm definitely me today. Kind of all over the place. And that's all right. Because it is. Now, let's get into the fun parts. The crafts. I have a couple fully finished things. One of which I can only show you in this way. Living in this beautiful Fat Squirrel bag. She makes the best bags. They're huge. I love them. And this lovely Tudor Birds Fat Squirrel bag is a project I cannot show you, but it is finished. This is the test knit that I was working on. And it is complete, and I like it. And I still need to block it and do a couple of other things before I get all the information to the lady I was doing the test knit for. But it is finished. It lives in here. And when I am allowed to show it off, I promise I will do so. Because it's lovely. And if you are also a yarn knitting kind of person, I will let you know in case you also want to make such a object that is in the bag that I have made. I'm not sure how much information I'm allowed to give out, so I really vagued that up. It's lovely, I'm happy, and it's finished. Still needs to be blocked. And washed, because that's the thing you do before blocking. Right. So that Sacred Project test knit is finished. Yay! Hello. But can't show you until May, likely. But meh. It'll be on. It'll be shown eventually. Another thing that I have finished is framed. Oh yeah, framed. I framed it myself. Ah, look at that! Oh. Yes, this is the Token by Long Dog Samplers. And I framed it. I did the framing. What? I'm okay with the lines even. Which means that the one I did for my in-laws, I need to rip apart and do again and lace it, because that seems to work better for lines, at least the way that I know how to fake framing. I finished this for the guy because it was our 25th anniversary yesterday. We've been married for 25 years. It doesn't seem that long. It really doesn't seem that long. But I wanted to get this framed for that day, and I did. And it has been up on the wall. I'm very happy with it, and it's lovely. And let me just give you a close-up of the stitching. It's so good. It's so good. I do not recall what I used. So I'm not very helpful in that. The frame I got from an online frame store. I think it was either pictureframe.com or it was Custom Frames. I do not recall. The only downside is right here. See that? See that? That? And that would be because this screw is too long and it went through the front. I should have paid more attention, but it was the screws that came with the hanging thing. And so I just assumed, which is silly. Never assume. It's a bad idea. So I need to get a furniture marker thing so I can cover that. But look at it. I am very proud of this. I am very proud that I framed it. And I'm proud that I did it to get to him for our anniversary. And I love it. Now it will go back on my wall. And no, you'll notice, I didn't do anything with the back. I left it. Because if anyone's going to take down one of my frames to look at the back, y'all don't need to be doing that. Just saying. Just like you don't need to look at the back of my stitching. You don't need to. You really don't. You don't need to take my frames down to see how I framed them. You don't. It's on the wall. You see the front. Whatever. Unless you can give me a good reason as to why you cover it other than to make it look pretty. If there's... Apologies, Stella is here. If there's a good reason to cover the back, let me know. I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to framing. I'm half-assing it completely. So if you can tell me that there's a good reason, maybe I'll do it. But other than that, who cares? It's on the wall. Who's going to see it? Sweetie, I'm trying to do a floss tube here. And that means you don't get all the pets. She disagrees. Right. I do not trust a London Fog, which has got milk in it, with the cat with the badonkadonk, because I have a feeling she might knock things around. So, and that would be why I do not trust her. Just hold on a moment. I'm going to move my clock down so I can place my tea over there. I don't trust her. I apologize that she is rocking your world right now. She doesn't know how much booty she has. Let's just say my girl Stella definitely making the rockin' world go round. She is. You are, dear. You make the rockin' world go round. Right. I will try to move a couple of things so that she has less chance of bumping them. She's so helpful. Get off my stitching. Right. This is... Stella. No. Right. I have one more finish. It's chaos in the house today, and that's all right. I have the door open because I'm the only one home, so I figured I'll just leave the door open. Figuring that means the cat thinks she can do whatever she likes, wherever she likes, because she is a cat, and that is what they do. Right, so I have finished my March Farmer's Daughters Fibers Sock Squad socks. It was based on this lovely photo of the California poppy and the minute pirate bug. The minute pirate bug. I don't know anything about the minute pirate bug, but there it is. So I finished these socks. I started them either right before my last floss tube or right after. I do not recall. Ta-da! These are my Totally Rad socks. That's the name of them. You can tell I didn't care about making my stripes look pretty. I don't care. I did make it so that I can put them on the inside. So the outsides will look all nice, but meh, so what? I got striped jogs. I don't care. So these are the Totally Rad socks by, I forget. So I will put the name below. And I did the 3x1 ribbing all the way down. I used the contrast color in the sock set for the stripes and the toe. I more or less followed the directions. I kind of did my own thing in a couple spots. I did a shadow wrap heel, and most of one of them was knit in a U-Haul driving to California. Well, I wasn't driving. When I was knitting, I was not driving. I was in the U-Haul on the passenger side knitting. So yeah, that's a long drive down to San Francisco. Just saying, just saying. I keep saying it's in Central California. My son keeps telling me, no, 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 mother, it is Northern California. And I'm like, Northern California is where all the sheepity were. It's central-ish. North Central? I don't know. Anyhow, I did finish my socks for February Sock Squad, or the March, not February, the March Sock Squad color, which was California Poppy. And this was a 64 stitch sock, and I used a US, I don't remember what the US is, but a 2.75 millimeter, because I've been stressed. And so I went up because stress, and my tension was good. So they fit great and they're not too tight. So going up was the wise choice for this month. And I finished them before the next Sock Squad yarn showed up, which means I rock. That's what that means. Anyhow, loving those socks. They were fun. Stay, stay, stay. Okay. She's settled. Yay. Now I have two whips that I was working on that I didn't finish, because I finished a few things that I was working on, and they're not whips because they're finished. Yeah, that's how that works, right? If you finish it, it's no longer a whip. Yeah. Doing great, doing great. One of my whips that I have pulled out to show, I've been working on it for a while, but I haven't shown it in a while, and it's still on the needle, is my Cozy Memories blanket. Ta-da! And I have a lot. And then I'm showing it off to the guy. And he goes, oh, that's really nice. I'm like, you don't look super happy. So, could you make it a little longer? So I am putting another row on top. It was 15 rows high, and I'm making row 16 here. And I know I'm going to at least do a row 17. I may or may not do a row 18. We will see. But it is now 13 rows wide. So these are the colors that I've put on since the last time. I think this marker shows the last one that I was working on. But that's not going to work very well anymore to show the marker, because I'm adding height. So, oops, sorry, sweetie. I dropped that stitch marker on her. I'm sure she's not happy with me. So I was thinking I was getting close, because I was going to do it 15 high, 15 wide, and have this nice big square, and then I was going to put a, what are those called? I-cord edging around it. I still hadn't decided if that was going to be in an undyed or in a, I have some fingering weight gray that I got from Knit Picks. And so I was thinking of doing it in gray or white. Either way, I was thinking I was really close to done. And now, I'm not so much. I'm not so much anymore. I do want to get the height correct before I add on more width. So that is what I am working on now. These are on my signature. They are not double points, they're just a signature. I think it's a 7-inch single point. And these are in US US 2, 2.75. Well, there you go. It was a US 2 that I used for my sock, a 2.75 millimeter. I like that for the blanket. But when I'm talking about tension issues, this is what I'm talking about. This is all done with a US 2.75. Look at the size of these two squares. They're exactly the same, done with the same size needle and done at the same stitch number. And look at the gauge difference. Look at that. Look at that. There's like an inch difference. This is why I went up on my sock, because I was a little stressed this past week. Like here they're normal. This one's normal. Here I'm okay. Here I start stressing out, pretty stressed, decently stressed, really stressed, still super stressed. I relaxed. Gauge is a thing, people. It's not going to matter in this blanket, in my giant blanket, especially since it's garter. It'll stretch out enough that it won't matter. It might look a little skinnier right there, but it overall will not matter. But yeah, gauge is a thing, people, and your mood can affect it. Evidence right here. Makes me laugh. What can I say? Apologies, there was a terrible noise because there was a spam call. Needless to say, I did not answer it, and I will have deleted that little noise that happened and scared the cat. Anyhow, what I was going to say is the other thing that I have been working on is a cross stitch whip. It is the only one that I've been working on since last time, and it is my Middle Earth map. Look at that. I have this thing going on the diagonal now. All of this random stuff over here that has no part bits, all of this was already completed. So let's not look at that. Let's look at the stuff that I did. And this is why I'm changing the way I did things. You can see my stripes there. No good. I started this years ago, put it away, and just has been ignoring it for years. And then I recently, just last couple weeks, pulled it out again. And I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I have some stats here because it fascinates me. I did 3,107 stitches in the past 2 weeks. Since March 2nd, apologies. Since March 2nd, this month. I've done 3,107 stitches. I don't know. I can't say numbers right now. Regardless, I have 6.41% done. 6. And I am loving it. No, you don't get to fall down. I have started doing it on the diagonal, and I am doing it across the whole piece. So I've started some diagonals up here, and then I'd already done all of this, but it's coming down. And I love it. I love it. Here you can start seeing Forlinden. That's where this is. And right here you can just see the beginnings of the words Erardluen. And I'm hoping these stripes block out. But in this whole new area, you can't see any lines at all. And I think that's because of how I'm now parking. So the way I park is I do not do an entire color. I do it in 10s, like at this, but I don't do an entire color in that 10 and then move to the next color. I do it, here's this color, I do it until I won't be able to, I don't know how to explain it. I do not know how to explain. I always make sure that there's no empty space above the stitch that I am stitching. If there's an empty space above it, I'm not going to stitch it. I'll park it and then get to it so that it looks cleaner and it doesn't look as bumpy. And that is how I am really enjoying doing it, and I think it looks fantastic. There are a million browns. All the browns, all of them, every single one. But look how good. Look at that. Ah, this is, I don't think I said, Middle Earth map by Heaven and Earth Design. So obviously it's a retired chart, so I've had it for years. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And this is being done on a, maybe a 20 count Aida, not sure. But it is 2/2 full cross. And yeah, I'm hoping that that kind of goes away. Or when you have the giant entire map, you won't be able to see it really because it'll be such a small portion. This is pages 1 and 2. Yeah, I only have 1 and 2 done. And then I started trying to do all of that one color because it's the largest amount. And then I put it away, and when I brought it back out, I don't want to do my stitching that way because I think it makes it look clumsy. At least the way I stitch, I think it looks clumsy. So I have gone back to parking, and I'm loving it. I'm loving doing it on the diagonal because it really, really gets rid of those lines. And when I started this, it was before Pattern Keeper. I'm sure I said this last time. I'm sure I did. This was before Pattern Keeper when I started it. I have this on Pattern Keeper now. Wow. Just wow. I love having a full coverage in Pattern Keeper. It is a game changer. It makes them so much easier. I've done 3 full coverages before Pattern Keeper and then stopped on this one. But oh, it's a game changer, and it makes it so much easier. Especially, just everything about it is fantastic. I love it. Anyhow, Middle Earth map. There's a black and white, ancient printed out black and white of the whole bit. This, right there, right there. See that little, there's the Forlinden. Fortland. No. Yeah, Forlinden. That's the FO. So yeah, I'm right here. Like I said, 6.41%. Love it. Absolutely loving it. I have no clue how far I want to get on it for this year. I remember my original plan was to get it all put on the diagonal. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, maybe I can have that as a long reach goal, but I don't see it happening. Anyhow, because I got the 33,107 stitches done, that means I did get both of my Whip Go dice rolls finished, because the way I am doing Whip Go is I randomized dice as my blocks, and when the numbers are called, I roll that die, and I times that number by 1,000, and that is the number that I'm stitching. So I had a 12-sided die that rolled a 12, so I had 1,200 stitches I needed to do, and then my other number was a 6. I don't remember which die I rolled. I think it was a D10, and I rolled 6, so that was 600. So that was, what, 1,800 stitches? 3,000 is more. So I have that finished. So my Whip Go numbers are finished for the month, and my socks are finished for the month. I'm feeling pretty good. Those are all my whips. Yeah. I do have a new start. I have been saying for about 1,000 years now, 1,000 at least, that I was going to start the Big Cozy Cardi by Andrea Mowry. And then I kept not starting it because other things kept hopping in front of it. I have finally started my Big Cozy Cardi. Look at the blistering distance I have made. Woo! I have a start. I have a start. Sorry, that would be the back. This is the front. Not that you can tell a difference. Let me see if I can show you that. So that will be the stitch pattern, but I really like the back too. Look at the back. I am super, because of the way that you make this cardigan, you essentially just stitch a giant rectangle and give it arms. I am super tempted to use the reverse side as my right side because I really like that. We'll see, we'll see. I don't have to think about that for ages yet because I need to stitch like 1,000 inches in this pattern. It's a paid for pattern, so I don't actually want to give you the amount, but it's a lot of inches because it makes a cardigan. So yeah, a lot of inches. Anyhow, I finally started it. I'm enjoying it. It is lovely, but it is over 300 stitches. So each row takes a while, and that's how the whole thing will go. And then you put a shawl collar on it, and then you give it sleeves. And then you're done. Ta-da! I am doing these on a US size 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle. I'm loving it. I am using Farmer's Daughters Fibers Recollect. Which is their Montana and Wyoming Rambouillet. It's wonderfully squishy. And this is the colorway. What colorway is this? York. That's the colorway. It's lovely squishy. It's this lovely tealy green. It's showing up a lot just more basic green on here, but there is a tealiness to it. Yeah, that is not the real color. And the shawl collar for this is done in a mohair. And so I am doing the Odang from Farmer's Daughters Fibers in York. This is a much better representation of the color. So those are the two. This is the body, and this will be the shawl collar. When I finally finish it. But I have finally started it. After 1,000 years of saying, I'm going to start this. I'm going to start this. By next time I film, I will have started this. And then things just kept getting in the way. It is living in this lovely bee bag. And the designer, who made this bag? Bags by Awesome Granny. So it is this wonderful giant bee bag. And there's a lot of yarn in there. I forget how many skeins I need of the Recollect, but you only need 2 skeins of the Odang. I think I have like 10 or 8 skeins of the Recollect, or 12. I don't remember. Anyhow, I finally started it, and I started it yesterday. So that's as much as I got done yesterday. I love it, and I cannot wait to get back to it because it is really, really fun. It really is. It is. If you're worried about knitting a garment, and you're not sure about it, a garment like this is a great way to start because you're essentially knitting a square, rectangle, whatever. You're just knitting a big giant square rectangle shape and then doing some sewing and some easy bits. And since it's oversized, it doesn't matter if your gauge is slightly off. Remember my gauge swatch for this one? I kind of did a lying gauge swatch, teeny tiny thing. We'll see. It should be fine. But I'm excited that I finally started it. It makes me so happy. So happy to finally have that on my needle. Yep. So very happy. So happy. It caused my joy filled my soul so much that it overflowed my memory card. That would be not how it happened, but I mean, I'm going to say it is. Anyhow, really loving the Pig Cozy Cardi. It'll take some time because you have to knit a whole lot of that pattern repeat for the texture. The texture is gorgeous. I'm hoping that in 2 weeks I'll have a big chunk more and I can really show you what that texture looks like. I tried to show you here. I'm not sure how well it came off. especially since it's in a darker color too, which is harder to show things off, but I'm gonna love it. I'm going to love it. So that is all she wrote for finishes and whips and starts. So let's go into plans. My big cozy cardi. Oh yeah, that's first on my list. My big cozy cardi. I'm also going to work more on my cozy memories. I'm wanting to get it done, so we'll keep stitching on it while I want to, and then if I get overwhelmed with it again or tired of it, I'll just put it away again. I was so close, thought I was so close to getting it finished, and then could you add like 3 more rows? Sure. It's a blanket. I want everybody in the house to be able to enjoy using it, and I am short. It's great for me. The guy is not short. He's much taller. I want him to be able to snuggle up under the blanket as well. So I will make it taller because I want him to be able to snuggle under the blanket. Makes sense to me. So I'll be working on that. And then I'm also going to be pulling out, cross stitch wise, I will be pulling out my Ocean Harvest piece again, the one that I'm finishing for a friend. And they have their birthday in April sometime, I forget when. So I have one more shell to finish and then some French knots to put in, and I will be done and I can get it to her for her birthday. I'm kind of excited about that. So that will be the next thing I work on. In fact, that's what I'm going to work on today. I'm going to pull that out. I don't know how long it's going to take me to finish because it's, like I said, just one more little bit. And after I finish that, I can pat myself on the back, give myself a halo, celebrate with a big old glass of whiskey, however I feel like celebrating. And then I will possibly splurge on a new start. I haven't decided yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a new start or not. But market happened and there were purchases. We'll get to that in a second. And there's one that's really calling to me. I really kind of want to do. We'll see. We'll see. If I do not have a new start, if I'm good and I work on my projects that I want to finish or get more progress on, I will likely pull out A Mind Independent and Free by Carriage House Sampling because I have a goal of finishing all of the alphabet on that one this year. And I'm pretty close, I think. I'm probably like a letter D with my luck, but I'm pretty close to the end of the alphabet. There will be laughter when next week, if this is the one I choose, then when I show you my before picture. You'll be like, oh, you were on the E. Yeah, you were almost done with that alphabet, like, good job. I think I'm almost done from my memory, from what my memory says. My memory's not great. I think I'm almost done with that one. We'll see. And then maybe I'll work on a scary sampler or finish Supernatural or get up to date on Dark Queen of the Forest or touch my sad neglected Reaching Skyward by Modern Folk Embroidery, which I've hardly touched this year. It has started, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't have a new start. We'll see. We'll see. The world is my oyster, and I will find out what I want to do later. So those are my plans. They're kind of vague. If my Farmer's Daughter's Fibers Socks Squad for April shows up, which will be based on, I have no clue the flower. It will be based on the dandelion and the honeybee. Oh, sorry, that's not a honeybee, that's a hoverfly. I just looked at this part, which kind of looks like a bee. Evidently, it's a hoverfly. If that yarn shows up, I will probably start on those socks too, because my plan this year is still to finish all of my Sock Squad socks by the end of the month that they're for. 3 months in, I've got 3 socks. Sets. Pairs of socks, not just 3 socks. 6 socks, 3 pairs. So I'm doing well. I know it's only 3 months, but it's a quarter of the way. it is. It's a quarter of the way through the year. I'm not okay with that. Anyhow, if that sock shows up, I will figure out what I want to do with that skein and start it. That's only if it shows up. And like I said, work on my big cozy cardi and some more stitching. I'll have a finish. I will have a finish on Ocean Harvest next time, which is exciting for me because I've had that piece way too long and I really need to get it back to Sarah. I really do. I've had it way too long. But April, I can give it back to her and it'll be finished and that will be delightful. Right. I said something about stash. I'm going to show my yarn stash first because I shouldn't have any. I have my Knit Spin Farm, which is my other sock of the month that I am getting this year. And this is called Sandhill Crane. This is her Targhee, 90 superwash Targhee, 10 nylon. This is the Sandhill Crane. And I love the colors. I love the colors of this one. All those reds and grays and some little pops of almost a purpley there. Love it. She says it's even stripes of chick, tan, a gradient of gray feathers, bright red crown, purple beak, and rusty plumage. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Super tempted to start something with that, but I still haven't finished my Chocolate Day socks because work's been too busy. Which, I mean, that's good. That honestly is very good. But I still haven't finished my Chocolate Day socks. And those need to be finished before I can start a new one. But I'm tempted by this one. And this is why I shouldn't have stash. Let me reach. There was a pop-up shop. I need to be better at resisting. But I wasn't. And so I have Trilogy Yarns in her yak sock base and her fluff. And this is going to become a love note. I will probably start this either right after I finish my big cozy cardi, or I might try and do a summer tee before I do that, or maybe I'll decide I need to do a shawl. But this will be, that's what this will be, and it is so pretty. Well, I guess I could make it a rocket tee too. Oh, that could make a nice rocket tee. This will either be a love note or a rocket tee. And I just love those colors. It is in her Cabernet base, colorway. I mean, look at the glorious. This is such a good color. I tried not to buy this. I failed. And then there was this. This is on her Suri base and on her Glamorous base. And I'm thinking of turning this into either a sock head hat or maybe an Oslo. I just think it'll be really fun to hold this one and this one together because the pooling pops from the dyeing are going to hit in different spots. And I think that is going to make for a really neat hat. It's going to be gorgeous. Oh, and this is in her colorway David's Sweater. I just love it. And her Suri base is so squishy. So squishy soft. So, yeah, I don't need more yarn. But it's for 2 projects. And, well, I don't specifically have the exact project. I originally bought this for a love note, but now I'm thinking it might be a rocket tee. I can wear that at work. I can't wear my love note at work. It's too warm. They keep the place way too warm. And then a hat. Because I love hats. Hats are a lovely little project that you can just kind of have on the go whenever you need. They're kind of like socks. project cleansers. Though I'm getting tempted to knit one of my shawls. One of my big shawls. Right. So that's my yarn stash. And then, like I said something about that whole market thing. And I have most of my order. But not all of it. I have, I think, 2 pieces missing. I'm gonna derail my own conversation here real quick. And before I get to my market orders, I'm going to show off my Roxy floss that I have, because I got my Roxy flosses and they have the new tags on them. So yay. So I get the neutrals and colors for the Roxy floss of the month, and this is for March. We have no pieces of paper. Will that work? No. I wish I had a piece of paper. This'll work. We have Lady Luck, Figure of Speech. Oh, I like that. Petal to the Metal. Yes, petal as in a flower petal. And look at the new tags. Those are so fun. Garden Party. Eating my hair. And Tart. So those are the colors, or the brights. So pretty. And then the neutrals this month. Pastel Black. Sing my heart. Lead It Be, as in, lead, as in the color, the metal, lead. Let It Be. Anchors Away. Yes, I did say that right. Tempest. Look at that one. Greater Porpoise, as in the animal. Their names, I swear. Dutiful. Do. I love the pastel black. Love it. It's the only pastel I wear. And the new tags. So fun. I'm so happy I'm still getting these. Just handfuls of flosses. They make me happy. They make me smile. Right. Now let's get into the I was very bad at market. Knocking things over. There we go. I was very bad at market. And I'm going to say it's not my fault. I'm going to say the Trenway Silk collaboration thing, they forced me to buy things because they based it all on tea. That was completely unfair. Completely unfair. They targeted me terribly. Anyhow. I got the thread keep minder thing that says tea time. I got the Trenway silks. Because, I had to have somewhere to store them. I bought the giant teapot stand. Because I'm going to finish these things. And I am going to flat fold them, put a magnet on them, put a magnet on the back of this, shove them on there so I can just kind of change it out whenever I want to with a giant teapot, because it's tea. And even if I never do any of that and all I do is I put this teapot somewhere, I now have a teapot. Win, basically. That's my thoughts, at least. And then some of the tea related ones I've received. I think it's the Fox and Rabbit one that I'm still waiting on. I did the Ingleside Imaginarium because the dragon on the teapot, what do dragons do? They hoard very important things like gold and yarn and tea. So this dragon hoard is tea. I understand, dragon. I understand. And I agree with hoarding of yarn and tea. I don't care so much about money. But tea and yarn, hoard away. And I did the Top Notch Stitcher with hers because tea and books. I hope I didn't show that off. I did the Ink Circles one because, oh, it's pretty. And it's tea berry tile. And it's lovely. And did I get any other tea ones? No, I did not. Except like I said, the Fox and Rabbit one I really liked, and it was harder for me to find, so I ordered it, and it is still on the way. With one other chart, which was the Spring Quaker one by I forget who, but it has the Quaker around the outside and then the Spring or Summer Quaker, I don't remember what it was, and then the pastoral scene inside. I caved and got it. I wasn't going to, and then I was like, never mind, I'm gonna get it. I also did the cookbook this year because I don't exactly know why, but I did. And I'm really happy because a couple of the little charts in here really made me laugh. There is a blue flower one that I think is adorable. There's the don't hate me for what I said when I was hangry or something like that. Oh, sorry for what I said when I was hangry. Dudes, I get that. I get that. And, you know, recipes. Maybe I'll try some. Maybe I won't. It was cute. I decided to go for it. I got this because it was finally released outside of Australia. And I just love that. I just love the giant woo, flower pot on top of the house. Just, that makes me happy. I loved the little beehive. The what did they call it? Honey of a Tiny Town? I don't like all the tiny towns, but I loved this one. I'm not sure why, but I really did. Some Quaker berries. They've been out for ages, I think. Oh yeah, they've been out for ages, but I bought them now. Wonderful Life Pink Keep Drum because I love the giant white house. Love it. I love that giant white house. But then it was this one. Apologies. I picked up Surrey and mohair fluff, so now I have fluff all over my face. Yeah, and it's in my eyes. And then this was the one. I had to get this. Had to. There is a swear word on here, so if you are offended by swear words, you probably aren't watching me anymore. I don't swear all the time, but they do slip by. There is a swear word. I had to get this one. This is Rebel Stitcher Design Happily Ever After. Can you read that? Yep. There was a woman who gave no, not even one. She lived happily ever after. Yes, please. This is the one that I desperately want to start. I so want to start this. So bad. And I'm thinking, oh my god, I have fluff. Why? Why does the Surrey have to live everywhere all over my face? It's fine once you knit with it. Like once you've knit the Surrey or the mohair into a project, unless it's really cheap stuff, it stays where it's at. But until you've knit it into the project, phew, it's everywhere, people. In my mouth, in my eye, this side of my glasses. I wear my mask all day at work. Don't take it off except to eat. It gets inside my mask. I have no clue how. And the stuff gets literally everywhere. Anyway, love it. Love it anyway. Well, anyway, where was I going? Oh, I have to start this. I have to. I have to. I'm thinking of pulling out my Roxy Floss Co. Roxy Flosses and doing a Roxy Floss conversion of just the ones that I have. Like, because I have a whole bunch of her flosses. Tons. So I'm thinking of just using them in this and kind of doing my own thing. It's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 colors. 12 colors on a purpley. Oh, it's on Milk Chocolate by X Jude Designs. I can find a colorway. Though they say they used 2 strands and they say it was stitched on 40 count. I usually don't do 2 strands over 40 count. Well, we'll see. We'll see what I do. I need to start this. This is so neat. Yeah. I'm really getting a thing for salty samplers. I have a couple now. And there's a couple of traditional samplers that I'm going to put salty phrases on. Because I like a little bit of salty. Anyhow, this is the one that broke me, which caused the rest of this. And I'll be fair. I was just going to get some tea time things. I was just going to get the tea time colors and a couple of the tea time things and the teapot. And I was like, no, I'm just sticking to those. I'm just sticking to those. They're tiny and I can do them and it'll, you know, it's not a giant project because this is 222 by 155. So this isn't tiny. Not tiny. But I was like, that's all I'll get. And then I saw this. And I'm getting that one too, which led to, and this one too. And for some reason, I'd never seen this one before, so it came too. And so did this one. And so did this one. Yeah. All because of this. Willpower. I have none. Absolutely zero. Right. And then the other, oh, I have one more tea time one, like I said, from Fox and Rabbit, and then the other one. So, when am I going to do all these? What? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Collecting yarn and collecting patterns is a separate hobby from using said pieces. This is a carefully curated art collection. This is also a carefully curated art collection. This is also a carefully curated art collection. And then you use it. So you get, you get twice as much joy out of it that way. One is collecting and seeing, and the other is using and seeing. Like, it's just how that works. Right. Let's get on to life. Life. Last time I was here, I was about ready to get in a U-Haul and help my kid drive all of his stuff down to San Francisco. We did. We got into that U-Haul and we drove all the way down to San Francisco. Stayed at his girlfriend's parents' place. Very nice people, very nice house, very lovely. Got him to the apartment he was renting and got all of his stuff moved in increasingly bad rain. Because of course that's how that works. It was barely sprinkling when we met the guy to get the keys. And it got a little heavier, till it was bucketing. It was great! Absolutely fantastic. Gotta love moving in the rain. It's so fun. I have bruises in places I didn't even know I could get bruises. Because I'm clumsy. So graceful. So full of grace. Doesn't matter. I helped him move in. It's wonderful. He was hoping to not have to deal with having a car down there, but, which is why he got the apartment he did, because it was within a good walking distance of all the buses, trains, and planes and automobiles and all the stuff. However, it seems like his commute time every day is about 4 hours on the bus. Like almost 2 hours in the morning, almost 2 hours at night, except for when trains randomly stop and he has to Uber home. So he's going to come up and get the car. It's okay. We have not an extra car, but we have the car he was using, and it's his to use. It's his car. We've given it to him. It's almost as old as he is, but it's, you know, it's a functional, good car. And so he's going to be coming up and getting it this weekend and driving it back to California so that his commute will be 20-ish minutes each way, as opposed to an hour and a half to 2. Wah-wah. I am sad that he's had absolutely no time. He can't even get to the grocery store because they're closed. The ones that he can get to. He can stop by one on the way to work, but he can't get any perishables because he has nowhere to store them while he's at work. So, yeah, it's a sad thing. But he's loving his apartment. He's loving his job. He's still kind of getting overwhelmed with the information overload that you get when you start a new job. But he's really enjoying it. The first competition that they were running was this last weekend, and he said it went fabulously. So that is always good when your first one goes well. Got to feel good about that. And so things are going really well for him, it seems. I think having the car will help his stress levels go down because he'll have an extra about 4 hours a day to do, you know, everything else that you need to do in, you know, your life. Like get a haircut or go to the grocery store or answer emails for work. Because you can't do that on the bus because there's no Wi-Fi. Right. It's all working out. It was hard for me. It's great for him. Like I've said, it's a fabulous thing that he is off doing his own thing, being an adult on his own in another state. But for the mom and me, I'm like, oh, my poor baby, he left me. He's an adult. That's what they're supposed to do. But I miss him, and he's a nice kid. So, sorry. Nice young man. He's a great young man. And I actually wish him all the best. I think he's going to do fabulous because he's great. And I did not go to work that Friday. My bosses were very, very much wiser than I with my lying that I do to myself a lot. I can do a couple hours. I slept for like 13 hours when I got home, slept for another 13 the next day, and 14 the next night. Took me a little while to recover. I also got a bit of a concussion leaving San Francisco in the airplane. My head bounced off the inside of the airplane because, you know, turbulence. It's fun. It's fine. It's great. We've gotten some diffused sunlight coming in here, so there's some shadowing. It's glorious. Apologies, there was some catness going on. As you can see, the shadows are still here because not a lot of time has passed, so you still have this shadowing thing going. So I'll face this way, so nah, whatever. We'll deal with shadows because, you know, light happens. Where was I? I don't remember what I was talking about in my life. Oh, hitting my head in the airplane. Yeah, worst takeoff I've ever had in my life in that storm. Leaving San Francisco the other week. We're taking off. Everybody's getting shook all over the place and gone. And my head just bounces off the inside of the airplane. Boing! Ah, it hurt so bad. Turbulence, man. What you gonna do about it? Person behind me, once everything's calmed down, people stop screaming and getting sick. That was fun. Yeah. I don't get air sick, but others do. Yeah. Anyway, the person behind me is like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, did you hear that?" They're like, "Yeah. Should I get a flight attendant? Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. I just hit my head. It's all good." "Are you sure?" But I was fine. It's, you know, you take off in a storm, you occasionally get shook up a bit. And then landed just fine. I was really tired. Right now, the guy is out for work, meeting people, checking out things and doing stuff. Actually, right now he's probably still in an airplane. I don't remember what time he was landing. And yeah, I don't have a lot personally going on. I mean, I had my anniversary, 25 years. Don't know how that happened so fast. We went to a fancy dinner and life is good. I gave him a cross stitch piece and life is fantastic. I imagine we'll have another 25 unless I kick it before that. Because I don't plan on going anywhere other than that. So, and I've already told him I have to go first because I can't. Nope. Nope. So I have to go first. That's just how that's going to work. That's why I married younger. He's a couple years younger than me, not a lot. 3. Right. While I was cleaning up, I remembered something I wanted to talk about. And so I'm going to put this in somewhere before the ending so that you see it. And I babble at the end. So, like, I'm not sure exactly where I'll put this, but a book series I read. It is so good. And I just want to tell everyone they need to read it, basically. This is the first one. It's a 2-book series. This is the first, A Psalm for the Wild-Built by Becky Chambers. And the second book is A Prayer for the Crown Shy. It's about a tea monk. It's technically sci-fi in that the world has its future. But it's not sci-fi in any way, other than it's the future. Therefore, it gets lumped into sci-fi. This is the most optimistic, positive, happy book ever. I love this book, and I think everyone should read it. It is so, so good. This and the second one. So if you're a little whatever going on in your life right now, but you got a time for a book, check out A Psalm for the Wild-Built. It's quick book. It's an easy read, but it is so good. It is so good. This 100% this. I had to get back on to film that because this book is that good. Just saying. Go out and read it. Go now. Right now. Pause this, go read the book. Then you can come back, but seriously, go read this right now. Okay. Back to your regularly scheduled information. Oh, because I'm rambling right now. Funny story. Down in San Francisco, we're meeting the guy with the keys to the apartment. Not the owner, the manager or whatever. The guy who was handing us the keys. He meets up with us and he's like, "Oh, are you and your sister going to be living here together?" I'm like, "Oh, thank you very much, sir." Sister. I'm his mom. I mean, no one's ever going to think the two of us are dating. We look alike. We are very, very, very obviously related. But sister? I do not look that young. I do not. Especially after driving a U-Haul down from Tacoma to San Francisco, sleeping very poorly that night, and then driving to the Mission District. And the only reason I slept poorly is I never sleep well in somewhere that's not my home. Where we were staying was fine. Very nice, in fact. But the brain wouldn't turn off. So the sleeping was not great. That's all. But yeah, sister, really? I mean, flattering. very flattering to me, I'm sure, but I do not look that young. Not even close. But it amused me. It amused me a lot. Okay, I think since I am rambling quite a bit at this point, and I have no real life updates other than I've been married for 25 years and my kid now lives in San Francisco. And I didn't die driving a U-Haul through snowy driving conditions ahead. That is not the words you want to read on a big digital sign when you're driving a U-Haul. Snowy driving condition, wintry. I think it was wintry. Winter driving conditions ahead. That was it. Winter. Winter driving conditions ahead. I'm in a U-Haul. It was fine, but ooh, not what you want to see. I'm just saying, you do not want to see that. It's all good. It's all good but the bad things. Right, I'm gonna get going. I will see you all again in 2 weeks, which will be April. I will definitely have my Farmer's Daughter's Fibers socks on the go at that point. I will hopefully have inches, multiple inches, on my big cozy cardi. I will have a finished Ocean Bounty, Ocean Harvest shells. Whether I've given it to my friend or not, I don't know. So you'll either see the thing or you'll see a picture of finished thing, because I don't remember birthday, date, time, giving, portion things. I taught English at one point, people. It was a long time ago. And maybe love started happily ever after. Oh, the temptation is strong, people. It's so strong. I want to so bad. We'll see. Anyhow, I hope all of you are doing fantabulously. And if you are not, I hope you can start doing fantabulously. If you are stressed, I hope you find a way to de-stress, be that through having a nice glass of water, or a cup of tea, or stitching, or taking a nice walk, or just staring at a wall for a little while. Whatever you do to try and de-stress, I hope you have time to do so. If you are not stressed, yay! I hope you do whatever it is makes you happy. And I will see you all again in 2 weeks in April. Oh, April, my heart. What is happening to this year? How is it always going so fast? I do not know. And I wish you all the best. So long all. Bye-bye.